The Parenting of a Genius: Beethoven's Childhood. This series talks about how great people were raised when they were children, and how their parents' love or pain affected their lives. Today's story is about Ludwig van Beethoven, the famous composer who died on March 26, 1827, at the age of 57. For the next 3 days, we will look at how Beethoven's grandfather, father, and mother raised him and how their parenting shaped his life. This video tells the story of Beethoven's family, and how their actions gave him both emotional scars and beautiful gifts. Parents today may find something meaningful in this story. The series has 3 parts. Part 1: Love from Grandpa, Shadow from Father. Part 2: Creativity born in suffering. Part 3: The Lonely Genius and His Legacy. Let's begin with Part 1. 1. Grandpa's Love and Silent Gift. Do you know Ludwig van Beethoven, the great composer of Eroica, Fate, and the Choral Symphony? But did you know someone with the exact same name lived before him? That was his grandfather. Beethoven's name came from his grandfather, Ludwig van Beethoven, who was also a talented musician. He moved from Flanders to Bonn, Germany, and became the music director at the royal court and a choir leader. People respected him as a hardworking and kind musician. He started learning music at age 5, and later became one of the top musicians in the city. He had 3 children, but only one son, Johann van Beethoven, survived. Johann learned music from his father, and he later taught music to his own son Ludwig van Beethoven, the famous one we know. The love of Beethoven's grandfather stayed in the family. He died in 1773 when Beethoven was just 3 years old. But in those short years, he gave his grandson warm love and a musical home. Even though Beethoven was young, he remembered the feeling of being loved. He saw his grandfather's kind eyes, heard his voice, and felt his arms. A portrait of his grandfather hung in Beethoven's room for life. People often talked about his grandpa with love and pride. Beethoven felt this warm memory even though he didn't remember exact words. 2. A mother's silent struggle. At the same time, his mother, Maria Magdalena, was getting weaker. She was often sick, and after her father-in-law died, the family lost money. Her husband drank too much and lost many jobs, making the home stressful. In 18th-century Germany, women had little power, and she couldn't protect her children much. But she showed love by quietly staying with her sleeping child. She wasn't a perfect mom, but she was a good one for her time. Sometimes, being a parent is not about being strong all the time. It's about staying with your child quietly and lovingly, even when life is hard. 3. The portrait. Before dying, Beethoven's grandfather asked for a portrait to be made, just for his grandson. At that time, a personal painting was like a silent letter of love. This painting stayed in Beethoven's room forever. He always looked at it while writing music. He once said, "I never turned away from those eyes." 4. Father's shadow. Beethoven's father, Johann, was also a musician and teacher. He sang at the court and taught music, just like his father before him. He saw his son's talent and wanted to make him great. But sadly, Johann became an alcoholic. He hit Beethoven and taught him music in a very harsh way. Why did he do that? Some experts say Johann felt he wasn't good enough compared to his own father. He was angry and disappointed in himself, and that pain went toward his son. Beethoven felt deep pain from this. His warm memories of his grandfather became stronger because of his father's cruelty. When his father died in 1792, Beethoven felt both sad and free. 5. The Silent Night. Beethoven was born in Bonn, Germany, in 1770. He showed musical talent early and started composing at age 11. But his home life was difficult. At age 17, he went to Vienna, Austria, with a letter of recommendation. There, he met the famous composer Mozart. Beethoven played for Mozart, and Mozart was very impressed. He even said, "Watch this young man. He will amaze the world." Mozart wanted to teach Beethoven. Beethoven was very happy. But the same day, he got a message his mother had died back home. He had to leave Vienna and never saw Mozart again. 6. Love and loneliness. Beethoven had many failed loves. He never got married, and he slowly lost his hearing, which made life even harder. He was lonely, sad, and very sensitive to sounds. He wrote a letter to his immortal beloved in 1812. But the letter never arrived. We don't even know who she was. Why couldn't he keep love? One expert, John Bowlby, said, "Only a child who is loved can give love." Beethoven was loved by his grandfather for a short time. But after that, he grew up in fear and pain. He wanted love, but he was afraid of it. He knew how to protect himself, but not how to stay close to others. So, his love stayed in letters, and his feelings came out only in music. 7. Final thoughts. Before he died, Beethoven may have thought, "I didn't give love to a child of my own." But maybe, in his heart, he imagined a child playing the piano under his portrait. He never had children, but he gave us his music. Now, we are like his children, growing with his gift of sound. What kind of parent should we be? Sometimes, love is not in words, but in warm looks and quiet hugs. A child remembers those moments more than anything. Be there, quietly and lovingly. That may become the one light in your child's life. Thank you for listening. Please leave your thoughts or questions in the comments.